Alright, extend. And then send me the...
What, StreamYard?
No, the... Hold on. That document.
No.
Control, Windows, Shift, and then arrow.
No. Control, Windows, Shift, arrow.
No, Windows, Shift,
Oh.
arrow.
Hold on. I don't know where you clicked.
I'll be clicking on the document. There we go, thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna go live on StreamYard. So once, get ready to play the video, okay? Oh, shit.
It's on my screen.
Yeah.
When life gets real, the mic stays warm. Hosted by the dad with lots of charm. Insights are sharp and data's tight. The lens already and the joke's online. Hot takes, real talk, keeping it true. From high school halls to podcast cues, live a little, learn a lot. Turn it up, this show is hot. Grab your coffee, let's get into it. No filter, no fluff, just real talk. Let's do it. Ready or not, here we go. It's time for Muffin to start the show.
All right, everyone, how are we doing today, Connor?
I'm doing good. How we doing, Murph man?
Hold on. Doing pretty good. But give me a sec here. Ready?
Hello.
All right. Welcome to today's show, everyone. I am the Murph Man with my co-host, Connor. How are we doing today, Connor?
Good. How you doing today, Murph man?
I'm doing really good. Before I begin, I want to go into, make sure everyone knows what we're getting into. You know, I am the Murph Man, and this is my co-host, Connor. Today, we're going to be talking about time management and how to juggle classes, clubs, work, and still sleep, which is something that we all need to learn how to do. But I do want to point out these are my views and Connor's views alone. We are not professionals. We're not experts. We're just people up here having a podcast, having fun. And sometimes, you know, different subjects will pop out of our brains. We can always control what we say. So, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, right now when I tell Connor, hey, what's up with the Bills? You know, you have the, what's it called? The Bills jersey on right now. And, you know, what do you think about what's going on with their coach? They fired Sean McDermott.
Me personally, I think it's a good opportunity to explore other coaches because I know he's been a good coach and got us out to the AFC playoffs for years now, but we just need something different because it hasn't been working out at all.
Okay, so I know you're going to hate me saying this, but whose fault was it that you guys lost the playoff game?
This playoff game? Defense. Josh Allen.
That's the one right there, Josh Allen. I heard a quote this morning. I want to share it with you. Josh Allen got them to the dance. When he got there, he forgot the steps.
You're funny.
I thought that was really a really cool point to make. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, he's sitting there, and they fired the coach. But, you know, you got to blame the players too, right? And there's people that they're talking about. I don't know if you heard about Phillip Rivers was in the building the other day. Remember who Phillip Rivers is?
Yes, I mean Phillip Rivers.
How do you feel about him being a quarterback coach? I mean, a head coach as a quarterback
I mean,
who understands offenses.
well, I mean, we could try it out. We're trying everything out. We're trying almost every coach.
And if you think about it, right, you have the offensive coach, offensive-minded coach, with Josh Allen and his players. Do you think that would help?
Maybe, but I think we needed to get rid of our defensive coach, or at least try something different because we need that the most.
And they're talking about also bringing in Brian Dable, who was with the Giants, with 20-40 with the Giants.
Yeah.
So who knows who's going to land at Buffalo?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? But I don't know if you know why they actually fired Sean McDermott. Have you heard that story about Josh Allen crying in the locker room after the game?
Yeah, I heard that, yes.
So, the owner walks in and he says, Pagula, right? That's his name.
Okay.
He walks in and he sees Josh Allen crying. He's like, we got to change something here. Something's not happening. And he blames McDermott. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know what you thought about that.
I mean, I don't blame him, but if it's need to be done, it's need to be done.
Well, I hope it turned out well for you guys. I know you're a big Bills fan, and I was hoping for them to do good in the playoffs. But it didn't happen. Who'd you guys lose to?
The Broncos by a field goal again. That's the only reason Broncos have won was based off on field goals.
Yeah, very slim margins of victory. It's pretty funny if you ask me.
They're the worst number 1 seed team
They are.
ever.
I'm a Broncos fan. And I'm looking forward to some games tomorrow. How about you?
Me too. I hope Patriots win the AFC, and I want to say Seahawks. I really want to say Seahawks, but I think the Rams might win.
That's going to be a good game too. My worry is we're not going to be able to see the game because the weather. Here, if you guys don't know, we in Texas are going to have some really, really bad weather. Actually, basically the whole north part of the country is going to be the northeast part of the country. You guys, if you're out there and you're hearing us, please be safe. Drive carefully. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. That's the rule. All right. I know you just recently started driving. Well, not recently. A year and a half ago? Has it been that long?
A year and a half, 2 years, yeah.
Since November of last year.
Was it last year?
Oh, 2 years ago. November 2 years ago. So it's been a year and 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever driven in black ice or snow yet? You haven't, right? Do you know what black ice is?
The ice on the road. I don't know.
Do you know why it's called black ice, though?
I don't know.
Because the road looks like asphalt. You don't see the ice.
No.
And all of a sudden, you're on ice and you're skidding. And if your rear end starts turning, which way do you turn?
Into it, no.
Yes. So if it's turning to the right, you turn right with it. Otherwise, you're going to start spinning. Okay, just remember that.
If it's going right.
Yeah, if your butt end's going to the right, you steer right because you want to straighten it out.
Oh, well then, yeah. Okay.
If it's going this way, you turn this way, you're going to spin.
Okay. Just that, make sure.
Yeah, that's a lesson I had. I can't teach you until you're out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The worst I've been was just heavy rain and windstorms. That's it.
Yeah. When I was in Colorado, I had a patch of black ice, and I was going down a hill to a stoplight.
Oh.
And I had nowhere to go, so I steered left, and I went up onto the embankment. One of those FitFam videos, right? But I slid off, and the car behind me hit me.
Ooh.
Yeah. And pretty bad accident there.
So whose fault would it be, though?
Well, let me tell you. It's been, what's 93? 33 years now, so I can tell the story, I guess. I didn't have any insurance, and I had been stopped by the same cop a month before for no insurance. And he gave me a break. And I still hadn't been able to get insurance. I was a lowly E3 in the Army. I didn't have any money. Had a house, my spouse and everything. It was rough. And I ended up getting into the accident with no insurance. So I started making plans with State Farm, his insurance, to pay back the claim. When I went to court, it was actually a pretrial hearing with the district attorney, one of the assistant district attorneys. And he tells me, he's doing this thing with his ring. He's doing this on the table. Have you ever seen this motion? Have you heard of it? He's knocking. It's called ring knocking. He's a West Point graduate. And he's showing off his ring.
Okay.
So I obviously had seen this before from other people in the military. And I looked at him. I'm like, oh, so you went to West Point. How was that? Really good. I said, So did you retire or did you leave early? He goes, oh, I left early. I said, hoping I can do the same thing, you know. And well, we keep talking, and he tells me, well, just so you know, we're going to dismiss the ticket because it was basically 50-50. He was too close to you. He was losing control. He would have run into you had you not had an accident. And he says, I can't force you to pay back the insurance. So I stopped paying State Farm. I'm like, y'all are screwed.
Okay.
Since then, I've always had insurance. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that when you need it, you're glad you have it. You know, right now we're paying $195 a month for insurance for you and me on 2 cars, one with full coverage.
Yeah.
You know, that's just $200 a month, man. That's just crazy. But one accident, and it all gets paid back, basically.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So, anyway, what do you think, Connor? You think it's great time to start the show?
Yes, I think so too.
All right. So, you have control of the playlist. So, play all the videos.
Do I turn the speaker on?
Yeah.
Welcome to Hot Takes. Today we are talking about time management. How to juggle classes, clubs, work, and still sleep. Today's episode is about your most valuable resource in college, time. It's easy to lose track of it, so we'll teach you how to manage it with intention so you can stay productive without burning out. The fuse is lit. Murph Man, take the mic.
Today's episode, learning how to manage your time. Now, you know, we've been talking about this for the longest time. You know, it's going to be a little different today. I'm going to give you some new tips that you haven't really heard of before, you know. And it says, and still sleep. Now, I know you've been going out this week, and you go to school early in the morning, so you leave the house about 7:30 or 8. And you've been coming home at what time?
When I'm with friends, I come home around 2, 3 in the morning.
3:34.
Yeah.
Is that something you can sustain long term? You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you can, personally. I've been there. I've partied, and you're not partying, but
Yeah.
I've been out to 2, 3 in the morning, going to work at 7 in the morning, and at some point it catches up with you, you know, and you crash out and you sleep all day. Has that ever happened to you?
Slept all day, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday I was sleeping because it was so cold because of the rain.
Were you cold?
I'm always cold.
You know, there's this new invention called a blanket.
What do you think I have on?
Well, are you cold right now?
That's why I put my hoodie on.
We have the heater on.
My feet are cold. Well, that's the floor, but I was in a tank
Are you wearing
top.
socks?
No,
No.
because I took them off.
Be
Like-
careful when you walk out of the kitchen.
Yeah, I walked in to the studio and I almost stepped on it.
We have a mat that we bought, and right now it's unrolling. So we have it face up so we can put stuff on it so the spikes are up. And he almost walked on it barefooted.
Yeah, I walked on it barefoot yesterday. 'Cause I tried to flatten it out, and I'm like, oh, I got you. Stepped on it and just, ow.
We learn through experiences, right?
Yeah.
Now you almost stepped on it again this morning, right? And I was like, oh no, I don't know what to tell you about that, Connor. Right?
Well, I wasn't thinking about it. It's clear.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and get started, and let's go over the burning question that's on everyone's mind today.
Focus on urgency and importance. Today's question is related to our main topic of time management. Here it is. What is the prioritization tool that helps you organize tasks based on their urgency and importance? Is it A. Time blocking, B. The Eisenhower matrix, or C. Energy management? Let's kick it back to the Murph Man to see today's flashpoint.
Is related to time management. And what we asked was, what is a prioritization tool that helps you organize tasks based on their urgency and importance? We have time blocking, the Eisenhower matrix, or energy management. What do you think it is, Connor?
Honestly, I wasn't paying attention to the.
It's the Eisenhower matrix.
Oh, okay.
It helps you divide tasks into 4 quadrants: urgent, important, important and urgent, urgent, not important, and not urgent and not important. Who does that remind you of? Do you remember we talked about this before? Stephen Covey
Oh,
in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
okay.
And you want to live your life in the important but not urgent section, because you want to be working on something that's always important
And
And-
never urgent.
and not urgent.
Yeah.
Because if you plan ahead and you do things right, you don't end up in trouble, right? So it's one of those things that when you think about it, it makes sense. It's pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
So as we're doing this, I want you guys to think about what we have in our lives that is urgent and something that's important. Okay. The example I use with Stephen Covey, he talks about a phone call. Is a phone call urgent? It's happening right now. Do you answer the phone?
Yeah.
Right? But assuming it's not a spam call. But I'm saying if someone's calling you, they're calling you for a reason.
Yeah.
Being there and on the phone, that's an urgent situation that has to be taken care of at that moment. Even though they may be calling you to go, hey, do you want hamburgers for lunch? But the call itself is the urgent part. And that's okay. But you just want to be like in crisis mode all day long. The old adage, poor planning on your part does not make it an emergency on my part, is one of those things that I live my life by. I try to plan as much as I can. And I get to a point where I just don't want to do something. I don't. You know what I mean? And when it's something I have to get done, I have to get it done. On Friday, I had a situation where I had a kid who was going to be removed from my club.
Oh.
And I had a meeting at 10 o'clock. And I was in the room and I thought I had logged in and I was ready to go. I was still in the waiting room. So I'm like, where's everybody? It's already 5 after 10. Well, everyone's waiting for me to open the room so they can go in. So it made me look like I wasn't prepared, right? When I totally was prepared, I just forgot to click a button. So sometimes, little crises come up and we just have to handle them as we go on,
Yeah.
But it's interesting because when you think about that burning question, okay, you're always asking yourself, what can I do to help me do better? Right? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'll tell you what, let's get to today's hot take. What do you think?
Sounds great.
Let's do that.
Manage time with intention. Today's hot take is time is your most valuable and non-renewable resource in college. The secret to success isn't finding more time. It's making time for what matters by managing it with intention. Murph Man, it's your turn to fan the
The secret to success isn't finding more time. It's making the time that matters by managing it with intention. With intention. When I ask you, hey, what do you want to do today? Or what are you going to do today? You're like, I don't know. You have no plans.
Yeah.
But you have a schedule at school.
Yes.
And you go to school at 9 in the morning. And then you have a break from 10:30 to like 3. But you also have 2 online courses, right? So you use that time to do your online coursework.
Yeah. And other work.
Well, yeah, right. But you're not wasting your time between 10:30 and 3.
No.
You don't go and come home and then go back at. you're taking advantage of the time you have there to do the work you have to do.
Yeah.
That's working with intention. Okay. And think about that when you do this. Okay. Everyone is stressing over juggling everything, and it feels like we're constantly searching for a secret hack. The number one lie we've been told about time management is that you need a better focus. You don't. You just need to protect yourself and your rest. Okay. When you think about what's important to you and you plan and you schedule it, it becomes second nature. And your time management just gets better. I work from 7 to 3 in the morning. Well, 7 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. And I stay busy. And at 3 o'clock, I turn my computer off. I'm done with work. You've seen that, right? Rarely do I work overtime.
Rarely.
Okay. And that's because I prioritize my work time for work. And I do everything I need to do during the work hours. And I don't have to work on the weekends or anything. Then I have a second job where I'm a part-time college teacher. And that one I have to do whenever I have time. So that starting at 3 o'clock, I sit there and I do all my grading. You know, I might do grading during lunch hour. You know, depends on how busy I am at work and whatnot. But, you know, if I'm busy at work, then my lunch hour, I take my lunch hour off and I come right back to work. If not, if I'm not hungry or anything, I'll just work on my college stuff, you know. And then we have the podcast. And that takes time to set up, doesn't it?
Yeah, almost like the whole week.
Yeah, because we're going to be doing something. We've talked about doing something new for a while. And like I said, we've done the studio, and we're doing so much better with this. But we're doing something completely different. And we haven't decided what we're going to do yet with the name and everything, right? But did you see the website that I sent you yesterday?
Yes, I saw it.
What do you think?
Could use some rework, obviously, but I mean, it's a decent start.
It looks professional, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
You don't think so?
It needs to rework.
Okay,
Like I said,
a word here or a word there, but I mean, overall.
word here, word there. I mean, you gotta change some photos. You gotta.
Oh, yeah. I haven't done the photos yet.
Yeah.
Because I haven't decided what
So
the name is or anything. So I
Yeah.
just have generic stuff up there.
So I don't know what you want me to technically look at.
Okay, but look at the format and the layout and stuff like that, you know.
I mean, I guess, but there's nothing added to it.
No, because I don't know what we're going to call it yet.
You need to change the URL. You need to change the logo. You need to change all the links. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I just got to see on how it looks.
Okay, so that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
All right. So that's something that we're going to be working on. And I say we because you and I are going to do it. And then, you know, with the Stream 915 stuff going on, I've told you about the studio, right?
What about it?
We're having a studio at one of the malls here.
Oh, well, a new location, yes.
Oh, no, not even new location. We don't have a location right now. We're online. Now we're going to have an actual brick and mortar area.
Yeah, that's the new location.
And what we're going to have is a studio for renting for podcasts. And we're going to have a studio for radio station.
Well, yeah, studio for anything.
And we're going to have booths that people can come and record their songs for their loved ones for Valentine's Day and stuff like that. You know, I know you're like, what? But there's some people that want to sing a song for their, you know, just you and your friends get together and want to sing a song. Come in, record your song. You know what I mean? It's a venture that the Stream 915 people are doing. And I think it's going to be a really good thing to be involved with. I can't wait, you know. Aside from the podcast here, I'll be doing something with them there. And also maybe having a radio station channel, you know, and being a DJ.
You want to be a DJ on a radio station?
Yes. DJ 8E.
8E?
8E.
Oh. Why 80? 80?
Say it again.
80?
80. Yes, I'll be playing 80s
Oh,
music.
that's right. Sorry about that. I mean, I guess.
The station's going to be the 8E station, and it's going to be the Murphman as the DJ.
How would you spell it, though?
8E.
And just 8E?
Yeah. 8, like number 8E.
Oh,
AT.
yes. That's why I was confused. I'm like AE.
No, 8E. 80s music.
Well, yes, but I thought you meant the 8 as in an A.
No. When I said AT,
AT, like AT.
80s music.
Whatever.
You didn't make that connection. 80s music. 80s.
I know I made the connection, but I didn't know how you were gonna spell it. Like AE or whatever.
There's only one spelling, 8E.
AE. You're saying AE, not 8E.
80.
There you go. You were saying AE.
The letter A, the letter D. How hard is this?
AD.
80s.
You said.
Now I'm messing with you.
God. I hate you so much.
I'll tell you what, Connor. How about we go to break? What do you think?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, right now we're gonna have a story here. Go ahead and play the story for everybody.
Yes, sir.
When I needed help, I wasn't shamed. I was able to get the mental health treatment that I needed. I felt like that really helped me just get out of my own way and become a successful person, become a happy person. Hi, my name is Jess. I was in the Army from 2012 to 2016, and I was a 74 Delta. I'm an immigrant. I felt really honored to be so blessed with certain opportunities and being to live in this country. I wanted to give back. My time in the Army was pretty cool. I just wanted to make sure that I could show up, pull my weight, and be a part of the team. I was sexually assaulted when I was in the Army the first year, and that really shook me up because it was from someone else that was in the Army. We wear the same uniform, we're supposed to be on the same team, we're supposed to have each other's back. Like, how could you do that to me? So prior to seeking mental health treatment, I was drinking a lot. Reckless behavior or just running from those thoughts, trying to keep myself busy, and I just wouldn't slow down. I couldn't slow down. After service, before I got mental health help, I was just tired. I felt like I could finally breathe, but I also felt like I didn't have enough energy to even take care of myself. I would drink a lot. I would, smoke. I would just do reckless things, and just each of my vices led me down to a dead end. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I was reminded that I am entitled to those benefits. I'm not a burden. And, that's what the VA is there for. I put my pride aside and I made an appointment, and I was just honest and open and willing. And I wanted to have the tools to be able to take care of myself if I am having a bad day. The mental health treatment that has worked for me has been intensive therapy, so talk therapy. I've done cognitive behavioral therapy. And with that, it's just working through my thoughts and my actions and why I think the way that I do, why I do the things that I do, taking that time to slow down and really question why I'm doing what I'm doing has really eased all that reckless behavior or the destructive behavior, because I can't get better and I can't move forward if I'm having my own internal war with myself. The mental health diagnosis that I received was PTSD, depression, anxiety. I would absolutely recommend all women veterans to check out the Women's Clinic. It also helps them learn more about us. There's not very many women veterans that use the VA, so the more that we do the surveys, the more that we go into those clinics, the more they can kind of learn about our demographic and improve treatment for us. I had to learn that not everyone is against me and not everyone's going to hurt me. It means a lot to have friends that can support me through this journey, because I know how much it took for me to even get here, and they can see that. I have people that are cheering me on and also there for me during those really hard times too. When I can show up honestly, that connection strengthens and it builds that deeper bond, and I know that they're truly there for me, that they truly love me. It's been great being able to show up better, and I know that they can tell the difference too. I love going on hot girl walks. I love putting on music and walking around my neighborhood. I love playing with my dog. I really love animals, so I'll volunteer. Just try anything and everything. The VA is there. You don't know what you don't know, and they're there to help you. You're worth that effort. The advice I have for women veterans is the sisterhood that you didn't have while in service, you can find that as a veteran. We're all cheering everybody on. Everybody has a seat at the table, and we're stronger together than we are apart.
And we're back. How we doing today?
Hold on. The camera zoomed in. I don't know why. Oh, that's the brightness. Why did it zoom in? Hello? Okay. There we go. We're back.
All right, that's okay. No big deal. Anyway, so
What?
you gotta turn the microphone on the camera,
The microphone on.
the speakers.
Oh. Hello?
There. I can't hear anything, or dear.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta make sure that's on.
I don't think I've had that on.
You did because we were listening.
Well, no, because I turned my sound down, so I never heard this.
One job.
It was working before.
We're fine. Anyway, so right now we'll just talk about some of those terms that'll give you the context and make the story. We'll lay down the coals, and we'll lay down those. You good?
Yeah.
All right. So again, let's get those terms that will put everything in context in today's section called laying down the coals.
Align work with energy. Before we dig in, let's clarify some of the key terms we'll be using today while laying down the coals. Time blocking. The practice of scheduling specific chunks of time for specific tasks or categories, like studying or resting. Eisenhower matrix. The tool we just discussed for prioritizing tasks based on urgency and importance. Energy management. This is about aligning your most difficult tasks with your natural productivity rhythms, when you have the most energy. Now that the coals are laid, Murphman, let's discuss the foundation.
Sorry about that. We have time blocking, the practice of scheduling specific chunks of time. And then, like for studying and resting, like I was talking about you going there at 9 in the morning. You have Eisenhower matrix, the tool that we're going to talk about, and the energy management. This is about aligning your most difficult task with your natural productivity and rhythms. When you have the most energy is in the morning or the afternoon, Connor, or the evening?
Most energy?
Yeah, when do you have the most energy?
Whenever I honestly get up, so towards noonish, afternoon.
When you get up. Makes it sound like in the morning and then you're like, around noonish.
Yeah, around noonish.
Oh, that's funny. Dude.
Like two is the latest I will actually be up and be productive. And then I get tired on later through the day.
Okay. All right. So, the power of the morning is one of those things that people don't really realize that, sometimes in the morning after a whole night's rest, it's best to get up and work, And nothing can explain that better than the story from the fire.
The power of the morning. Lena was constantly feeling overwhelmed by her schedule. She started using time blocks and color-coding her digital calendar. Through this, she realized she was most focused in the mornings, so she scheduled her hardest study sessions then. Her stress dropped, and her GPA went up. That was a story from the fire. Murphman, are you feeling the heat?
Are you feeling the heat, Murphy?
I am feeling the heat. How about you?
Feeling it a little bit better.
I thought you were cold this morning.
I'm hot now.
I'm sorry. I'm just full of dad jokes, you guys. So, Lena, is a great example of what I'm talking about here. Color coding your schedule to see when you have to do things, right? And sometimes the visual representation of a calendar is very important. People don't realize that. That visual representation, color coded, tells you these are the things I have to do. Now, you're not a morning person, you say. You're more of a noon person. But you scheduled your hardest classes in the morning.
Yeah. I do.
And now let me clarify this. When I say hardest, I mean it's the ones that are going to take more work for you. It's stuff you've already done through cybersecurity.
Yes. But I'm still getting the hang of it because we didn't really do that much in cybersecurity.
Well,
We didn't code that much.
no, you didn't code.
Not on Java at all.
Oh, you're doing Java?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's one of those things that is interesting because there's so many different coding languages. Do you know any other coding languages? I know you know HTML. I'm just curious which ones you know.
Linux, a little bit, Python, Java,
Okay.
I guess.
What did you just do?
The speaker.
Because now I'm hearing the echo.
That's what I was. Hold on. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Let's test something out.
Okay.
Mute ourselves. You hear it? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we've had before. Well, hold on. This is what we were hearing. Us,
Right.
Right? You can
Talk
hear it.
and you can't hear anything.
Exactly. Then I put the speaker on.
And you can hear us.
Yes.
All right.
Remember we said.
Can you hear us on stream? Yeah, we can. Okay. That's what matters. All right. So that they can hear us. So let's leave. You turned it off again.
Yeah, but they can still hear us. The mic's on.
The mic is on.
Like I've said, the speaker only lets us hear it, but you can still hear it on the stream.
Oh, I can't hear anything though.
That's what I'm saying. The speaker is what we could hear.
So I need to hear.
No, you don't. You don't need to
Then-
hear us
Turn me up then.
because
No, not on mute. Turn me up.
We could hear ourselves there. We don't need it on the speaker thing
Well, I need to be able to hear something. Right now I hear myself.
because I have it on.
Right.
But I can turn it off and you can still hear us there.
As long as I can hear us here, that's what matters.
We hear each other here. They hear us there. We don't need the speaker on for that.
Okay.
That's why we have to
only
leave it
turn
on.
on one and leave it off.
Okay,
I need to be able to hear us here.
which is here.
I guess. You're telling me this is your job.
What do you mean? I guess this is what we've discussed.
And can you hear me here? Yes. Okay. That's what
Yes.
matters. As long as I can hear you in the headphones.
That's what I'm saying. They could hear us.
Yeah,
the
I
same
got
way
that
it is.
part.
But we only put the speaker on so we could hear what they're hearing.
Right.
But yet it's the same thing.
Okay.
Here, so it
All
doesn't
right.
matter.
All right.
Discussed this many times with you. Many times. That's why we have the speaker on.
And why are you still messing with it then?
I wasn't messing with it.
It changed.
You told me to turn the speaker on, and I said no
I said I can't hear myself.
because I forgot about this. That's
Oh.
why I thought it was that.
That's what happened.
That's why I
Because
was
we started
like-
hearing the echo. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
'cause-
you're the one who changed it, so that's why, not me.
To go on the break
All
so
right.
we could talk. Right?
Okay. So, going back to scheduling your success, you guys. You know, color coding. Lena did this thing where she color coded her schedule, saw where she was, and based herself on everything. And Connor only could take that class at 9 in the morning, right? That's the only time it was offered.
No. It was the only one that could fit my schedule.
Oh, well, yeah.
The only one that was only one time was my computational thinking from 4:30 to 5:50.
That's the one. Okay. Yeah, that was the only time it's available in the afternoon or evening almost.
That was
so,
only class.
That was, yeah,
actually. So,
that's the only section, only course, only one that you could take.
Yeah.
So either you go to school all day and then have a late class those days, or you schedule later classes, which you did, but then you schedule 9 o'clock because you wanted that class, right?
Well, I didn't want it. I had to, but yeah.
Well, what I meant
was
was that's something you had to take. So you wanted that class, so you had to take that class, and that's the only time you could take it. So,
Yeah.
you know, planning ahead. And speaking of planning ahead, you got to plan. Are you going to go to school for summer?
Yeah. I'll see what courses are available.
Because that's one of those things you have to look at
That's
and
what,
register March 1st.
that's what I'll see.
Okay,
I'll
so
see
you have
what
1 month
courses
to look at it.
yeah,
Or
to
you're going
look
to do
at.
your internship, one or the other, right?
Yes.
So you got to schedule that. You got to plan it. That's what we're talking about today. Don't wait till the last minute and try to say, "Oh, I'm going to go to school in the summer." No, you have to it's 4 months away. You have to be thinking like that already. It's crazy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then of course you got to start thinking about your stuff in August. which is 8 months away.
What's stuff in August? Like school?
The fall semester, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
You don't realize how far ahead you have to schedule stuff, huh?
No.
You
Well,
know,
I mean, I would schedule it like for the fall. I would schedule it around June. No, not June. Well, yeah, June. Like May or June.
well, I don't know when fall registration opens, but you might want to look at that date. But this year you came up to me during the holidays and you were like, we didn't do anything over the Christmas break this year. And, well, we had the flu, but really we didn't plan on doing anything, right?
Oh yeah.
Um,
I don't think.
you know, we're going to get a bag of chilies and do the chili drop here at home. We were sick. But if I want to plan something for next Christmas or next December, should I plan it now or should I wait?
I mean, depends what you want to do.
I want to fly up there,
Fly up where
Denver, Colorado.
and do what?
A lot. We've done that trip before. And now we have new friends over there. We're gonna go hang out with. We're gonna do a show from the actual MBR studios. Let's do it.
I mean, I guess.
You guess you don't want to? You travel?
No, not really. To record a.
No, we're not gonna go to record. We're gonna go over there and do a holiday break in Colorado, and while we're there, take advantage of it and do a show from the studio.
So we're not taking a break,
No,
technically.
well, no, but I mean, we're gonna hang out with the same friends that over there. So why not just do a show with them?
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool to do a show with them.
It's just not my thing.
It's not your thing to do a podcast.
No, to go out and do all this, like, actual profession. I'm in my PJs, for God's sakes. Come on. I woke up at 9, and I'm just like, I didn't even want to change because it's in my own house.
But what's wrong with doing the podcast? I know this is a side hustle for me.
This is the side hustle for me. This is like your profession almost.
No, the podcast is a side hustle.
You take all your time into this hustle like a hobby.
Well,
I'm treating this like a hobby. You're treating it like a side hustle.
yeah,
Yeah.
because right now it is a hobby because we're not getting paid. We're wasting a lot of money on this, but it's going to become something real. And with the upcoming episodes that we're not the upcoming episodes with the rebranding we're talking about, I have my consulting business ready to go.
Well, yeah.
You know, so that's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, it's still a side hustle because it's a second job, not a primary job. But it's hopefully it's one that's going to pay us really well.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
would hope so. After all this, I would hopefully.
I think so.
We'll see. We'll see.
You have some faith, Connor.
I have faith.
Think about where we started 6 months ago to where we are now.
Same house.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the podcast.
Well, I guess.
You don't think we've come a lot further than we were when we first started? We had no idea what we were doing when we first started.
Well, we had an idea. But
Did we?
Yes. Yes, we did.
When I started, I had no idea what a podcast was. I had to research the hell out of it.
You've never seen any podcasts, any like.
I've seen them,
Then
but
you know,
the stuff that
you
goes
get
on.
an idea though.
But the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, Connor, that's a different thing now, isn't it?
I mean, I guess. I mean, it's what everybody's gone through.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about the heat map that'll show us where to focus our efforts for the most impact.
Yep.
Schedule your success. The heat map will show you where to focus your efforts for the most impact. Use a weekly planner or a digital calendar to map out all of your commitments, not just classes. Identify your peak hours when you feel most energized and schedule your hardest tasks for those times. Break down big projects, like a term paper, into smaller, time-specific chunks and put them on the calendar. The map is drawn. Back to Murphman for the next.
to map out all your commitments, not just your school. Okay. Identify your peak hours when you feel most energized and schedule your hardest tasks for those times. But here's the big one. Break down big projects like a term paper into smaller time-specific chunks and put them on the calendar. Does that make sense to you?
What?
Breaking down big projects like a term paper into smaller time-specific chunks.
Yeah.
All right. When you do projects, right now you have a syllabus from your course, right? And it tells you these are all the things you have to do. Can you work ahead in some of those things?
I mean, depends.
When I was in graduate research, okay, which I don't know if you have to take that class or not, but
Graduate research?
well, a research class, you
Well,
know, I don't know if you have to take that or not. I don't think it's part of your
okay,
course.
Well, define the class. I mean, I don't think so. I
It-
didn't see it in
it's-
my course, but
It's a research class. It will say research. You don't have that on your schedule.
okay, but research of what though? Computers,
No, no,
science,
no,
like
that-
what? That's what I told you to specify.
No, that is specific. Research.
Okay,
It'll teach you how to research whatever subject you want to teach, whatever subject you want to research. So it doesn't matter what
research whatever you want to research,
but it's how you do research that they're teaching you.
but it's different when it's computers to like
No,
chemicals into life into whatever.
no.
Yes,
You have the scientific method.
from chemistry.
I use in psychology. It's the same steps. First one, form a hypothesis,
I guess, yeah.
right? Then
But
research the
that's-
subject.
That's only in certain things, not in every single class. That's
Yeah.
not be,
No.
it's not in math.
Connor, in a research class, it doesn't matter what you're researching. The steps are the same.
Not always, but okay.
I'm telling you. Who's the college professor here, Connor?
Just because you're a professor does not mean you know everything.
I know research. Hello.
Because it's in your department. It's in your
No,
class.
Connor. It is a class that covers general psychology, which covers scientific method and research, and it's the same research steps in every subject.
Not every, but okay. I'm telling you, not every subject.
Connor,
But okay, continue.
how do you think they research something? Let's talk about computers then, okay?
God.
I want to be able to push a button here and turn that light on there. That's my hypothesis. If I press this button, that light will turn on. How would I do that? There's a whole process to that, right? It's called the scientific method.
Well, no.
Yes.
You're just thinking of a problem. and
No,
you're
I'm
thinking of
coming up with a
solution.
hypothesis.
That's not a hypothesis.
It is. If I press this button, that light will turn on.
Yes, and the problem is, how does it work?
Right. So I have
But
to
it's not-
research how electricity works. I have to research what pressing a button does. I have to research how a light turns on.
That's just
Okay. I have to find out if it needs to be connected or can be done wirelessly.
what's the engineering method. It's something for engineers. It's not the scientific method itself. I'm telling you.
You're going to have a hard time in school if you don't open your fucking mind. All right? I'm telling you right now. Because the fact that you're saying, I don't know what I'm talking about, you're not
Because you're a professor
listening.
does not mean you know everything.
You're not
know
listening,
this.
Connor. Okay? It is a research project on any subject. It's the same steps for research. It is. And I'm telling you this. All right? I'm telling you
saying
this.
It's not, but okay. Continue.
I'm telling you this.
Continue.
All right? No, I'm not going to continue. Okay? Because you're not understanding. All right?
No, you're just not listening.
You're wrong. That's the thing. You're wrong. And you're not accepting that.
Okay, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm a student. You're a professor. I'm wrong. Okay.
Thank
There.
you.
There.
Thank you.
Happy?
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
I'd be happier if you actually meant it.
No, continue.
All right. But the whole point about the research
you
project,
just think whatever. I'm always wrong apparently. So,
you're,
continue.
you're not always wrong.
Continue.
You're wrong on this.
No, you. I'm a professor. I'm the psychology expert. I know how the mind works. I know how everything works. Apparently, that's how everything works for you.
I didn't say that. What I said
No,
was,
you've
for
been-
every
You've been
subject,
saying that for so long.
the scientific method is used in anything that you're studying.
Continue.
Connor,
What? It's fine. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. There. I admit it. You're right. Everybody here knows you're right. I'm wrong. Okay. Continue now. I'm getting mad. Just continue.
it's frustrating because you're not listening.
Continue, please.
All right.
Please.
I'm gonna have you watch this part of the show over again a year from now
I'm
after you've done
not.
research,
I'm
and you're gonna be
not.
like, "Wow, you were
No.
right." Okay.
Just
Anyway,
continue.
I'm sorry, you guys. All right, I'm a parent first. What can I say? All right, college professor second. All right, but the point being is, when you have to do a term paper, and I did graduate research, I had to do it in steps because the first thing I had to do was come up with my hypothesis and then research the paper, and then I had to figure out what I was actually going to be testing, and then I had to actually figure out how I was going to test it. Then I actually had to do the test, and then I had to actually get the results, and then I actually had to get my paper written. All right. Do you think I did it all overnight? No. I had worked on it all semester to turn my paper in at the end of the semester. All right. There's nothing you can do to work on your big projects if you don't plan them ahead. That's what's so important, okay? You know, so I'll tell you what, let's go to break real quick and we will be right back.
Time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at MB Radio.
According to the VA's suicide data report, an average of 22 veterans die by suicide every single day. This figure is a sobering reality and a crisis that demands our immediate attention and compassion. We must recognize and address the fact that every 24 hours, 22 veterans are losing their lives to suicide. The war doesn't always end when our veterans come home. The invisible wounds they carry, wounds that are real and heavy, require continuous support. No veteran should have to carry this burden alone. Many veterans experience stress and disconnection as they navigate life after service. But there is hope, there is help, and you are not alone in this fight. There's a vibrant community ready to support you, offering friendship, understanding, and shared experiences. You served your country, now let us serve you. Don't fight the toughest battle in silence. Your mission now is to reach out. Dial 988, then press 1. Text them at 838255. The Veterans Crisis Line is available 24/7. Every day, we save lives. Your life is invaluable, and your service is honored. Let's work together to make 22-0 again. No veteran should face their struggles alone. Together, we can ensure every veteran finds the support and hope they deserve.
He gets help, but he still feels off. Sees an ad on the TV about a dog bad and said, this is a man's best friend. Whoa, so he goes one day and he picks it up. Never thought a dog could bring so much love and put a smile on his face. But he's finally found a saving grace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again.
From Ryan Spencer. I heard the song when I first started here at Military Broadcast Radio, and the song really, really affected me. I love the song, and I actually found a way to call up Ryan, talk to him, and got permission to use his song in the show, in the commercial. But it's about veteran suicide, and I want to remind you that help is available 24/7, 365. You can dial 988 from any phone, press 1, and talk to anyone Again, someone is always listening. Or you can text 838-255 and people will respond to you. There's someone always available and you are not alone. Remember that. And before we get back to the show, I want to talk about the fact that we stream every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern here on Military Broadcast Radio, where we give veterans a voice. So if you're a veteran and you're interested in doing a podcast or having a show of your own kind or whatever the case may be, consider reaching out to mbradio.us, and you can definitely get in here and excuse me, get in here and do a show. So remember that, you guys, okay? And now we're going to talk about those big mistakes you need to avoid in our segment called Where You're Going to Get Burned.
Sun. Nature.
You have another commercial.
There was another commercial?
Yeah, hold on.
Just play it.
It's resetting. Great for your body. So being outside, one with the water. This benefits me physically, and it's something that I could gear my mind towards in a positive way.
My name is Stefan. I served in the United States Marine Corps as a 2841 from 2010 to 2015. My family's fought in every war that America has been a part of. It's almost like a rite of passage. Felt like a calling since as long as I can remember. I think actually the first impact where things kind of resonated was my first deployment. And so then I started asking the question, like, why are we really out here? What are we really doing? I realized I wasn't getting some of those answers. So to lose a friend without knowing the why behind, a true why, kind of gets your brain ticking a little bit. Anything traumatic like that will have an impact on anyone. It becomes the norm. You want to suppress your trauma because it wasn't as bad as your buddy's trauma. My experience transitioning out of the military, I feel very blessed. I landed a job 8 months before I got out of the Marines, so I knew I had a job. I definitely struggled finding a new purpose, and then to start my career where they're like, do this, nothing more, nothing less, this is your job. It just felt very meaningless. First time that I went to seek help for my mental health, it was kind of demanded. So I was diagnosed with TBI, traumatic brain injury, PTSD, and bipolar. I think it was a series of repeated concussions that caused a TBI. It wasn't one incident. Sports when I was younger, to MMA, martial arts instructor throughout the Corps. And so it involved some neuropsychologists, and they wanted me to get a couple therapy sessions, just kind of see where my mental health status was. These symptoms or red flags was essentially to almost feel always guarded or prepared to attack. What brought me back to seeking help was recognizing that I did need help. So that's step one. My experience with talk therapy was like having a conversation with the most unbiased friend, and I think that's really the key, is having the most non-judgmental conversations. Someone that like you're probably scared to talk about because the fear of being judged. I do like homework often. It's what helps me. If I stay on top of it every day, it directly translates into my life being happier. It'd be like if I had a cold and they gave me a week's worth of medicine and I took it one day, my cold never went away. But if I'm actively taking my prescription daily, I will get better. I think wake surfing has a dramatic impact on my livelihood and well-being.
Wake surfing just benefits my mental health from getting just sunlight, being around water, and then I feel like I'm active and being surrounded by people you love. I can't think of a better thing for me to do. If y'all see me go down, it's probably because I'm tired.
I think the biggest advice I could get, if you've ever questioned it, if you've ever thought about it, it's one of the best things that I've ever done. I can't speak enough about it. I would be doing a disservice to my brothers and sisters not wanting to encourage them to take that next step.
Like I was saying, you guys.
Protect your time like money. A few pitfalls to avoid. Stop saying yes to everything. You have to protect your time like it's money in the bank. Avoid multitasking. Focusing on one thing at a time produces better results. Do not skip sleep to get more done. Sleep is essential for learning and memory. It's productivity fuel. Danger zone identified. Back to Murphman.
All right, you guys. So these are the pitfalls that you're going to have. This is the thing, places you're going to get burned. These are going to be the places you're going to have difficulty. First one is stop saying yes to everything. You have to protect your time like it's money in the bank. Let's talk about that real quick. When you talk about relationships, Connor, you make friends and you have friends and you ask them for favors. Mm-hmm. If I meet you and I say, hey, nice meeting you. If you ever need anything, let me know. And you're like, well, you know what? I actually need help moving my house this weekend. What's that person going to think about you that you just met?
That I'm gonna ask too much or something.
That's because imagine a relationship like a bank. You have to put money in before you can write a check. So you go into this relationship, you add stuff into it, meaning time and effort into a relationship, and then you can start taking stuff out. You don't just meet someone and say, hey, here's what I'm going to do right away. When I was driving Ubers, I had one guy that's like, oh man, I wanted to tip you. I'm sorry. I don't have any money. I'm like, that's fine. I've heard that before or whatever. And then he goes, oh man, I don't have any money to get into the club. So too bad. You have a credit card? No, I don't have anything. I left my wallet at the house. Well, I'll take you back. Get your wallet and we'll come back. He's like, I don't want to pay for that. I said, all right, then get out of the car. You're on your own, dude. I had nothing invested in this relationship with this guy, right? I was just his driver. So I dropped him off. And it was funny. Another time I had some people that came in and they put the wrong address of where they were going. And I said, oh, you guys are going way over there. Wow. And they're like, no, we're going here. I'm like, we need to change the address. And they're like, no, I think you're trying to rip us off. If you've driven Uber before, you get a map, you know where you're going. Mm-hmm. And then just drop us off right here. I said, all right. So as I'm pulling over, I hear the guys say, if we only had so much money on the credit card, we're not going to be able to order another Uber. And I dropped them off at 7-Eleven, and I went inside, got a soda, got some chips, came out, right, and sat in the car without turning my Uber on or anything. And these idiots come over to me, and they're like, hey, can you give us a ride? Like, no. Again, I have nothing invested in this relationship. I'm not going to do you any favors. That's how time management is. You can't just expect it to just pop up and happen. You have to put effort into it to manage your time. You have to put effort into it so that when you need to do something, it's there because you did the planning ahead of time. Yeah. Also, avoid multitasking, focusing on one thing at a time to produce better results. I'm bad at this. This is one of my pitfalls, is I try to do too many different things at once. Would you agree with me on that? Mm-hmm. Right. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, let's see what we're doing, right? And I have this, like I said earlier, all the things that I'm involved with. And I start working on one, and I get sidetracked, go to another one, go to another one, go to another one, go to another. You need to sit down and block out time for each one. You have to say, right now I'm at work from 7 to 3. From 3 to 5, I'm going to be doing my college work. From 5 to 7, I'll have dinner and hang out. 7 to 9, I'll work on my podcast. You literally have to do that so you don't multitask and get everything done. And the last thing is don't skip sleep, to get more done. Sometimes if you don't manage your time properly, you're going to be working late at night. And I can tell you so many times in my life where I waited till the very last minute to do something, and I was up till 4 or 5 in the morning trying to work on it. I've learned not to do that anymore. I've learned that's not the best thing to do. So I don't do that anymore. If I'm working on something, I make the time to work on it. And the example I'll give you is before the semester starts, I have to get my courses set up for class, right? I have a shell, and that shell has everything in it already. I literally have to copy and paste it into a class or import it, and then I can change the dates, and I'm done. That's all I have to do for setup for the course semester. Sounds easy, right? But what happens if my computer breaks down? Or what happens if I have no internet? Like right now with the storm coming, right? Internet might go down. Stuff like that. So you ask yourself, if I had managed my time better and worked on this ahead of time, I would not be in this time crunch right now. I tell students, turn in everything by midnight at, 10:59 or 11:59 on Sundays. Then they text me Monday morning, Mr. I forgot to turn in my stuff. Can I turn it in right now? No. You missed the deadline. I've had people email me and say, hey, Mr. Murphy, I couldn't email it to you last night. Or I couldn't submit it last night, so I emailed it to you. Is that okay? That's fine. You submitted it to me. That's all I care about. If you know the discussion board, you did emailed it. That's all that works. And it's funny because sometimes people will email me from their own private email. So I'll get some really weird emails. The favorite one I had was Pixie Dust 1983.
Okay.
I remember that email so well because it was funny to me. She was born in 83. I'm like, oh, okay. It makes sense. But Pixie Dust. A lot of those last minute things can be done, and we talked about the Eisenhower matrix, right? Where we talk about the urgent and non-urgent, important and not important, right? When it's urgent and important, it's something that has to be done at that moment. Sometimes there's stuff that's urgent but not important, like the phone call. Then you have things that are important but not urgent. I got to eat, but I don't have to eat right now. And then something that's not important and not urgent is anything else that you have to do. Like I have to go put a new toilet roll on the dispenser, whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's on the list of things to do, but it's not something I have to rush and do. Yeah. So it's one of those things that when you think about it, planning can help you out so much if you just do it right, Excuse me. So it's one of those things that, let's talk about that in our segment called the heat map. I'm sorry, heat shields.
Tools to defend your focus. Here are your heat shields. The book, Deep Work by Cal Newport, is a must-read on this topic. Digital tools like Google Calendar, Notion, or Sunsama are perfect for time blocking. You can find templates for the Eisenhower matrix or use Pomodoro timers to help you focus in short bursts. The shields are up. Murph Man, what's next?
Deep Work by Cal Newport. All right, it's a really interesting book there. Now, the digital tools, we talked about like Notion and Sunsama. What do you think a Pomodoro timer is, Connor?
I have no idea.
You want to take a guess at all?
Something to do with the timer. That's all
Yes,
I know.
it's a timer. Right? It's in the phrase.
That's it. Just
That's it. But you schedule yourself 15 minutes. And you turn the timer on and say, I'm going to work on this for 15 minutes and nothing's going to distract me. If you get distracted real easily, you work on that subject for 15 minutes. Boom. 15 minutes gets done. What do? You can either take a break, you can do something else, or you can say, I'm going to do another 15 minutes. And why am I doing this? Do you know why I'm doing this?
There's a clock, like back in the day. Yeah.
It's an egg timer. Yeah. It's like, I hang up the phone. I don't hang up the phone. Yeah, nowadays you just type in 15 and hit start, right? As you're doing that, you learn to block your time a lot better. And that's what a Pomodoro timer is, all right? You don't realize how helpful that can be until you actually use it. I'll tell you that right now. If you're at school and trying to do a lot of work and you're overwhelmed, just small chunks. We talked about that, right? Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Small chunks. And by doing that, you get more done because you actually focus that time on that moment. Now you could say, I'm going to do 30 minutes. That's not the point. 15 minutes. Don't go more than 15 minutes because that's about the time that you can stay focused on the subject without really getting distracted. Going into 30, you're not really putting all the effort into it that you can do, you know. Don't go.
Sorry.
Excuse me, you guys. Why are yawns so contagious? That's one of those events that people just don't know. You know, but have you ever wondered how the first yawn... I'm going to completely go off track here, you guys, okay? Have you ever thought about the very first yawn in this world? All right, I want you to picture all these cavemen sitting around a fire, right? And one guy yawns. Right? The guy next to him goes, what the... You don't think that's funny?
No.
It's funny. You just don't have a sense of humor.
Not that sense of humor, but yeah.
You know, so yeah, block it down 15-minute blocks. Don't go more than that. You can do 10 minutes, you can do 5 minutes, depending on what you got to do. But focus on that for that short period of time. Don't go too long. You want to be able to rest. Okay? That's the most important thing. You want to be able to rest in between. Take 5-minute breaks, 15 minutes, 5-minute break, 15 minutes. Don't work for 30 minutes straight. You always want to take that break at 15. Even if it's just a 30-second, 1-minute break, run to the restroom, get a drink, come back and keep working on it. All right? That's what the Pomodoro timer is. So I'll tell you what, as we're talking about all this, what are some of those questions you might have about time management? So let's talk about the afterburn.
Reflect and optimize. Here are some questions for reflection. When during the day do I feel most focused and energized? What is one time waster I can cut out of my schedule this week? How can I be more intentional about making time for both my work and my rest? Reflection complete. Murph Man, time for your final thought.
Those things that are time wasters for you that you can get rid of.
Well, I mean, define time wasters as in like...
Wasting time.
Well, but... like work-wise or like chore-wise, I mean...
Everything. What are things that are time wasters for you?
Sleeping sometimes. And sleeping in the day.
Okay, taking a nap.
Yeah.
But with us, we actually do sleep, right? But yeah, you know, don't lay down, right? Watch TV.
Scroll on your phone, yeah.
Okay. There's so many time wasters, you don't realize what they are. Have you ever heard of a time study?
No. Well, 15 minutes and you study for that many times.
No, studying time, how you study your waste, how your time is spent. When you go to work, you're going to have to do these time studies, all right? And they ask you every 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you're doing, right? You got to document what you're doing. So you say, okay, for 15 minutes, I worked on the podcast. And then I took a 5-minute break and I came back and I worked 10 minutes on my matrix. You know, your all this data gets put into a system. And they say, okay, out of 8-hour day, you took 10 breaks. That adds up to almost an hour. You spend a lot of time doing paperwork. When were you spending time with your clients? So a time study actually measures where you spend your time and where you're wasting it. And it's really interesting to think about that. If you ask yourself at any moment of the daytime, have I wasted any time today? You're like, yeah, I did this and this and this and this. I could have been doing this and this and this. Ask yourself that question repeatedly the next week and see if you're wasting time at school or wasting time at home or wherever the case may be, right? When you drive home from school, what are you thinking of, if anything?
Honestly, just I'm thinking of school, but mostly just listening to music, finding out the best way home. I mean, I don't really think much on the drive home.
Most people don't. Okay. You have a completely dedicated time to yourself in that moment, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you use it for yourself?
I am. I'm driving, listening to my own music that I can't listen to at school.
Okay. Can you sit there and study something?
If I don't drive, yeah.
Oh, I'm saying, but like, can you?
Well, you said on the way home, so I'm
Yeah.
just thinking on the way home.
Can you play a video? And I don't mean watch the video. Let me make that very clear. Don't watch video while you're driving. You can play a YouTube video about whatever, and it'll teach you while you're driving.
Well, I guess, but I'm not gonna be focused on it since it's gonna be a background. Like I'll listen to the words, but I'll mostly be focused driving.
Right, but
like songs, it's just muscle memory. I guess it's a little different than just studying.
So you take your drive home like if you're taking a break.
Yes.
Okay.
Doesn't everybody?
No, I'm asking. Could you do work while you're driving? Is what I'm asking.
I mean, you can.
But you're not going to have the full effort on it because you're not focused on it. So is that a waste of your time? See where I was headed with that?
No, because you just got off school from studying, so might as well just take like a 10-minute break.
Is listening to a video the waste of time because you're not paying attention to it? Okay.
Yeah.
So I've told you when I started this podcast, I used Gemini and I would have a conversation with AI.
Mm-hmm.
That was me having fun, just talking, right?
That's you having fun?
Yeah, just getting my questions answered and getting stuff out of my brain. I have ADD and sometimes you got to do that.
Okay.
Did I pay attention to it so much? No. And that's one thing I liked using AI was, as I said, summarize our conversation. And then I would go and I would read that summary when I got home. Because again, you're not really focused on it. Your brain's going somewhere else. Like how many times have you been driving and you get somewhere and you're like, well, I don't remember driving here. It's pretty scary, huh? Yeah. That happens to everybody. But when I was talking to Gemini, I was working, distracting myself at the same time. And then, but I had something to show for it because I was able to say, hey, summarize it, show me what you got, and go from there, you know. When, I know you don't remember this because you were a little kid, I had to do paperwork for my clients that I would see, right? And you were probably about 5 or 6 years old type thing, you know. And I would pick up at daycare or something. And then I'd go pick up your mom and whatever. And I would be speaking to text, speech to text. Mm-hmm. So I would be writing my notes after I saw somebody. So I would be driving and I would be reciting my note. Then I could go home, I could edit it. And then I could submit it. You know what I mean? Is that killing two birds with one stone?
A little. I mean, yeah.
It is, right? Is that using AI before AI was AI?
No.
The speech to text, you don't think that helped you? Like AI?
How's that AI?
Well, it's typing what you're saying is correcting your speech. It's spelling it.
It's for like disabilities and all that.
It is.
So it's not AI. AI is a computer using the internet to answer questions you have and giving you feedback.
Well, the feedback comes from the system itself, not from the computer or the internet.
But the AI, that's...
So, I guess it wouldn't be AI.
If it's built into the app, if it's built for disabilities, that's different. But if it's for, I guess, entertainment, to make it easier, then I guess that's AI.
Before there was AI, we had Google search.
We still have Google search, but yeah.
Well, yeah. What I'm saying is, before AI, we used Google search.
Still do, but yeah. I'm just saying,
I know we still do.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying before there was AI, we had Google search, and you would talk into it, okay, and you would say, "Hey, find the closest restaurant of this," right? That's been upgraded to AI now, you know. People use AI like it's a search engine. That's not the way you should use it, you know. You want to really take those breaks when you're driving. You want to learn to transition between school and home, or school and work and play, or whatever you're doing, right? You can't have a hard day at school, get home, and let that still stress you out. You're home. You're not at school anymore. Don't let that stress you anymore. You have to learn how to separate and compartmentalize it. When you do that, you learn certain things are not a big deal and other things are, And it was put in perspective for me one day when someone asked me, is this going to matter tomorrow or next week?
Maybe.
And my answer was no, because in a specific situation it wasn't. But right now it matters to me, and I'm going to be pissed off right now. She says, yeah, but how long are you going to be pissed off for? How long are you going to give this situation your time when you don't need to? And it made me think about that. Like, that's a good question. And time waster, right? Even anger, frustration can be time wasters, okay? Because you're letting yourself be distracted from what you really got to be doing. So think about that. Right now, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the digital inferno, and we'll talk more about the digital things you can do to help you with time management.
Recon by fire. Recon by fire, gentlemen.
The way we are in combat, and you never leave anyone behind. And that doesn't change when you get home.
I think vets really need to help vets and let them know, dude, it's gonna be all right.
Trying to piece together who we were before with who you are now, Of course it's a struggle, but I think it's just a matter of, finding that new mission again, having that support structure in place and, knowing that we're not crazy. There's a whole generation of veterans just like you that are going through the same things you are.
My desire to serve my country and all that didn't end the day I got my DD-214. I want to help people, and I'm starting with people like me, other veterans. And that's what we did in the military, and that's what we did in the Marine Corps. You help a buddy out. I'm not going to stop doing that now. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Can you imagine an entire company of Marines, the greatest fighting force in the world, all dedicated to doing good for the rest of their lives? It's out there. People are doing it, and I just think that story needs to be told.
One thing real quick, if you were watching that video, who was it about? Marines. If you ever meet a Marine, Connor, and they're not in the military anymore, right? If you say something like, you used to be a Marine, they're going to say, I'm still a Marine. Older retired vets, we say,
You still are.
Not as lean, but still a Marine. The biggest insult you can tell someone in the Marines is that they're out of the Marines, because they're always a Marine. That's the point of that, is they're always a Marine. I thought it was pretty cool. It's just one of those things, right?
Yeah.
But in the Marines, they are very supportive of each other. That's what I love about it, is they're very tight knit. There's hundreds of thousands of soldiers, but only 200,000 Marines.
Oh wow.
Or over 1 million soldiers, whatever the number is, right? And only 200,000 Marines. They're very small. But I'll tell you what, when you work with the Marines, it's a completely different culture. When I was in the Navy, I worked with Marines. Well, not in the Navy. When I was on Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, I worked with the Marines there on the base. And it's a different culture, man. It's different. That's all I can say, is they're very different. Very dedicated to the work and very tight-knit. So it was fun working with them, When I was in the Navy, we had a first unit that got attacked, and they were the Marines, and over in Somalia, and we were told not to talk to them. They were told not to talk to us, the counselors, right?
Okay.
Because they were worried we would say something like, this person is crazy, and they would need to be out of the military. Well, I had worked in the Army probably about 4 years before I went to Somalia. Hadn't worked with Marines before. And I sat there and I talked to these guys. The first guys who got shot, right? And it was funny, not funny, haha, but the first person that actually got hit with a bullet in Somalia was a Navy corpsman. And they're the most beloved person in a crew because they will save your life. And this corpsman got shot in a way where he was shot in his lung, but he was actually holding the wound and telling people around him how to fix him and save his own life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, Navy corpsman and Marines working together, different animals, man. I'm telling you right now. It's different. I loved working with them. But when I went to talk to them, they didn't want to talk to me. That's fine, But they didn't know I was a counselor. They thought I was just a driver for somebody. Ended up playing cards with them, playing gin. I actually asked them to teach me how to play gin because I never played gin. They taught me how to play gin. And then we started talking, found out they were the first unit that got shot, which I already knew. I asked them about it like someone who, I've never been in combat. What, tell me about it, right? Whatever. And they told me about it and everything. And then, I went back and said, they're good, don't worry about them. But those Marines introduced me to the devil dogs and what it really means to be a devil dog. And if you ever meet a Marine, ask them, tell me a story that only the Marines would understand. And you'll hear some crazy stuff, dude. I don't know what the story will be, but I promise you, if you ever meet a Marine, ask them that question. So I'll tell you what, we've been talking about time management. We talked about the pitfalls. We've talked about some of the things you can do to stop yourself from getting burned. But I'll tell you what, let's talk about how we can use technology and how we can help you manage your time in today's session called the Digital Inferno.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Go to the playlist.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Let apps do the heavy lifting. Use time tracking apps to audit where your hours actually go, rather than relying on guesswork. This data reveals your biggest time wasters. Furthermore, use task managers like Todoist linked to your calendar to automatically assign an urgent, important status, effectively automating the Eisenhower matrix so you never have to manually prioritize. The Inferno is digital. Back to Murph Man to close the segment.
So you have the time tracking apps and the Todoist, but have you ever looked at an email and you can actually flag it as important? If you go to your email, you have a little flag you can click and it will tell you this is priority or whatever the case may be. You can also move it into a priority file. Like I have in the college, I have all my semesters. So any email that I get that I need to keep, I send it out to them. To that folder, you know what I mean? So I review it for that segment. And I'm able to review my emails that way. Flagging them is something that you can do on the calendar too. You can actually click on it. Now, let me show you real quick here. I'm going to see if I can get into it right now. I don't know if it's going to come up on my window or yours. But let's see here.
It's on mine.
Send it to me. So when you click on the calendar, okay, I couldn't find it. Google Calendar specifically. When you're scheduling something, you click on the time, right? And you have the title, you have the event, you have the task, whatever that, you don't have to do an event. You can actually plan tasks on Google Calendar. It tells you at a time, what time do you need to do the task at a deadline. That's important because the system will keep track of your deadline for you. And then you add a description, and then you add it to my tasks. And when you do that, the system actually keeps track of the list of things you have to do, right? On your calendar, you have a task, but it also tells you your deadline is coming up. So just by going into the one event on calendar, you can actually put down a deadline for the activities you need help with. And I don't know if you ever use that or not, but I'm telling you, that is one of those little things you can do that makes a big difference. Okay. With the new thing that we're doing, which I still don't want to say anything, I'm building a calendar where people can come and schedule time to see me for consultations. They can pay me through Google Calendar. And I have these appointments that I have on my calendar. Boom, 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 right? And I can see when money goes into my account, and I can also see when I have an appointment that comes up. Because what time do I get off at work? 3. My first appointment is always scheduled at 3:30 until 8 o'clock. Well, 7:30 is my last appointment. So when I get off at 3, what do? I check the calendar, and I don't have any appointments. Why? Because no one's scheduled anything. But when I set up my system, I said you must schedule within 5 hours. So if they want to schedule me at 8 o'clock at night, they have to do it by 3 o'clock, right? And I'll know at 3 o'clock when I get off if I have any appointments. They can cancel anytime they want, but it's one of those things where, I set it up to where I only make appointments at certain times. And I check that calendar constantly. My computer, my calendar at work, I have all my club meetings and everything, right? When I schedule something, I get the reminders. But I also have to remind myself to send out the reminder to the club. That's a task. Repeat it every month. There's things like that you can do that once you learn how to use calendar, it's so simple. It really is, because it actually tells you everything. And if you look at your day, you can have different color coded stuff. We talked about that, right? You can color it differently, so for different things. And once you do that, you can see, oh, here's what I got going on today. Or today is a day where I'm going to be in the office doing paperwork. Here's a day I'm going to be out doing work on the IT systems or whatever the case may be. But using Google Calendar is one of those things that you can use all the time. Yeah. And it doesn't really matter what you do, but you can use that. So try to use it for your school. Try to use it for work. Anything you got with your friends, schedule it. Okay. I have my calendar. I have 2 calendars. I have one that's 2-year calendar, right? So it gets this year and next year stuff, right? But I also have a 5-year calendar. And I know you're thinking, like, why would I want to have a 5-year calendar? When you were in high school, you were graduating. What's the next 5 years about?
College.
So I can put down events. So like in January of 2020 or 2030, right? Is that when you're going to graduate, or 29?
29.
Well, I thought you were going to do like 5.5 or 6 years.
That's if I don't do any other extra classes.
Okay.
Because engineering's only 4.
Well, actually, with the schedule you're doing, yes, it's 4. If you only did 12 hours, it would be 5.5 to 6. I mean, sorry, 4.5 to 5. But yeah, I have a calendar that says June 2029, Connor graduates.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not, right? But if you come up to me and you say, hey, Sean, next year I want to go on vacation in June, I go, oh, let me check my calendar, and I go, and nope, I can't. Connor's graduating sometime in this 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I don't know the schedule, how it works, so nothing in June. Google Calendar will do that for you too. You literally go in there and you type in, I want to do something June 29, and it'll pop up and say it's a conflict with this other appointment.
Oh, wow. I never knew that.
Yeah. So you can literally plan ahead on Google Calendar. When you schedule the date and time. And then when you're trying to do something else, it'll say it conflicts with this other event. And you're like, oh, and one of the hardest things that I have is I'm in Mountain Time Zone and the district is in Central Time Zone. So if I tell you, hey, we're meeting at 12, I mean 11 my time. But I can't tell you we're meeting at 11 because you're going to think it's 11 your time. I have a friend who has a job in California, right? They're 2 hours behind us.
Wow.
So when she has a meeting at 9 o'clock their time, it's 11 o'clock our time. But at the same time, if she has a meeting at 3 o'clock, it's a 5 o'clock our time. So for her, it's a later day. You know,
earlier day.
No, I'm saying
later day for us.
No. They have an appointment at 3. We have an appointment at 5. For us, it's a later day.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I said, Connor.
You said for her it would be a later day.
Yes.
But
We're talking about her.
But you just said if it's at 3, us would be 5, which would be a later day for us.
For her.
You said for us. That's what I'm saying.
Well, what I meant was we're in the same city. So she has to work at 3 for a meeting there. Her meeting here is at 5, so she works till 7. You know.
Technically.
Normally she can work from 9 to 5 and, you know, whatever, she's good. But those time zones affect everything. So when you're scheduling on Google Calendar, you can schedule it in a time zone too. Did you know that? So ask yourself, what time zone am I working in? And you set your calendar up for that time zone. And if I say 12 o'clock on my calendar, it's because I'm talking about 12 o'clock in the time zone that I'm working in. If I have a business in Germany, I can set my calendar to Germany's time and make the appointment.
But then you would have to know what time it would be here.
Exactly. Okay. But I would schedule it on their time.
Yes, but still
I have to.
figure it out
Yeah.
here.
When I was in Somalia, I was 12 hours away from home. So my 7 o'clock was 7 in the morning here. So I would call later at night when my wife was getting up for work. You know, those are things you got to keep in mind when you're scheduling, right? We didn't have Google Calendar back then, but, you know, I had a watch. No one knows watches nowadays, right? But using those digital apps will help you do better if you use Google Calendar for the tasks, for your events, and it'll tell you if you have anything conflicting in it. And the thing is, like, you may not realize your college schedule, okay? If you register October 18th when the school opens, right? You schedule for the next semester. So for 2 months, you're like, okay, you know, whatever. School starts, you have your reminder, school starts today, you're good. You can set a reminder for an hour, a day, or a week ahead of schedule if you wanted to, all right? But if you put your college schedule in and your friends are saying, hey, let's go out and do this, you can say, I can't because I'm already doing this schedule. So I think using it is probably one of the most important things you could do as a student. Okay, I know you don't think so. You don't use it, but it's one of those things where if you use it like that, you'll see how helpful it can be.
Well, that's if I got like a schedule and like stuff to do at certain times.
Right.
But I mean, the only thing I have right now are just work assignments, which Blackboard already has a calendar for me and gives me notifications.
Yeah, but that's school. What about work and play?
Well,
you know,
then, I mean...
How many times do you come up to me and say, hey, do we have any plans tonight because my friends want to go out? You literally could go to my calendar that we could share, and you could say, oh, I have nothing planned, and I'm going with my friends. You wouldn't have to ask me because it's on the calendar.
Okay, but I mean, it'd be always at the same time around, and then just certain days.
Well, yeah, I'm saying if you wanted to schedule something, you could look at the calendar and say, oh, my dad's not busy. I can definitely do that.
I know.
Because we only have one car. I'm not saying that you have to get my permission. I'm talking about for the car.
Yeah, just so we both could do stuff.
All right,
Last
so
night you went out.
Yeah, I did, huh?
And the night before I went out.
Remember when I went over the weekend? To meet a girl at a bar at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, stuff comes up last minute every now and then. You never know, right?
Was it on a weekend? No.
Sunday night. Monday was Martin Luther King.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot we had no school the next day. Yeah, wow.
Anyway, we'll take one last break, and when we come back, we're gonna finish off the show.
Break. Okay. You sure? We already did 3 breaks.
Let's see.
Protect your time like money. A few pitfalls to avoid. Stop saying yes to everything. You have to protect your time like it's money in the bank. Avoid multitasking. Focusing on one thing at a time produces better results. Do not skip sleep to get more done. Sleep is essential for learning and memory. It's productivity fuel. Danger zone identified. Back to Murphman for the war.
Guys, all right, it's real simple. All right, you have to plan with a purpose. All right, for example, I said I was going to go on break. I don't know if you remember earlier in the show where we had a commercial for the veterans for a song, and then we did another commercial. That was supposed to be the commercial that I had right now. That's what threw it off. I forgot we moved it around. So I do apologize about that. But that's why we have to plan, right? Nap with pride. Okay, that's one of those phrases. Plan with a purpose and nap with pride. When you decide to take a nap, Connor, you have nothing else going on in your life and you can take the break, right? So that's one of those things that you can think of that will really help you understand everything. And when you can take a nap, you can rest because you got nothing pressuring you. You can't say, I'm going to take a nap for 15 minutes and then, get back to what I was doing. It doesn't work that way. I don't know if you've seen the TikToks of those people that fall asleep at work. When the car's turned off, dash cams will turn on when there's movement. Like in the car, it shakes, right? So like if someone bumps your car, the camera turns on and records immediately. So there's people that go to work and they fall asleep. And you see the whole thing is daytime, it's lunchtime, right? Yeah. They fall asleep, and then next thing you know, it's all dark, and they wake up, and it's a funny video. I don't know if you've ever seen those videos, but there's people that go take lunch naps, right? My coworker's one of those that would go to his truck and take a nap every day at lunch. That's what he does. That's every day. So
I used to do that once in a while.
Well, I do it once in a while too. I'm at home now. I just go lay down in bed and watch a little TV or whatever, Sometimes I fall asleep, whatever, but I have my alarm set up so I don't fall past it. But just remember, you guys, nap with pride and, time isn't something you find, it's something you make. All right? If you make time for things, you'll have time to do things. Right? Before we wrap the show, you guys, I want to remind you that the Hot Takes with the Murphman streams every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Excuse me. With Military Broadcast Radio and at MB Radio, we give veterans a voice. We also have all our replays and our behind-the-scenes content and all the new stuff coming up, you guys, on stream915.com, which is an El Paso content station for El Paso content partners. So if you live in El Paso and you want to do some content with us, reach out to stream915.com. And that's the end of today's show. Do you have anything for us today, Connor?
I hope Seahawks make it to Super Bowl.
Seahawks?
I'm saying Seahawks.
Versus?
Rams. Oh, like in Super Bowl? Sorry. Patriots.
You want Seahawks Patriots again?
Hate the Broncos. I hate them. I'd rather see my division win, at least.
Well, I want the Broncos and Rams. Right? So I can wear my jersey. I'm going to cut it down the middle. I'm going to have Bronco and LA
Rams.
Rams.
Do that? I would actually. That'd be funny.
It would be funny, but I don't want to destroy my jerseys.
Yeah.
That would be funny though. But
because I just want the 2-12 team or 2-15 team from last year, that is now 15-2 or whatever it was, to make it to Super Bowl and win.
Right.
That's got to be the comeback of the history of Patriots.
Well, I don't know. Drake May is amazing, and we'll see what happens with him. But I will tell you this, though. You did tell me to do something. Do you remember what you told me to do with the 2 jerseys?
To wear them? It's I told them to wear 2 jerseys, one over the other, and then if that team's losing, the one he's wearing, he just takes it off and just wears the other one. And then that team's losing or something, he just puts the other jersey back on.
With the games we've been having this year, I'd be changing jerseys every 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. All right. Anything else, Connor?
Not that I could think of.
Well, according to my calendar, our time is done for today. See y'all next week, you guys.
That's a wrap on this episode. If you're looking for more, you can find all the best clips from the show on our social media pages. For all the links and more information, that's a wrap on this episode. Today, if you're looking for more, you can find all the best clips from the show on our social media pages. For all the links and more information about what we talked about today, visit purehottakes.com. And if you want to watch the full replay or get access to our premium content, subscribe now at stream915.com. We appreciate you tuning in.
Life is like a duck. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here at Military Broadcast Radio, we're teaming up with our friends at Die Tired, the